Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. There's a special kind of magic in the air on Christmas Eve, isn't there? It's a time when the world seems to slow down just a little, a night filled with anticipation, twinkling lights, and the warmth of being with loved ones. It's a night where anything feels possible. Beyond the gifts and the carols, Christmas Eve is a treasure chest of incredible stories of kindness, unexpected miracles, and unforgettable moments of family connection. Today, I want to share some of these real-life stories with you, tales that remind us what this season is truly all about. These aren't just stories, they're moments that have shaped lives and become cherished memories. So grab a hot chocolate, get comfortable, and let's dive into the heartwarming world of Christmas Eve. Let us start with a beautiful story of kindness that happened in a small town a few years back. Sarah was a single mom working 2 jobs to make ends meet. Christmas was approaching, and she was worried sick. She barely had enough for rent, let alone presents for her 2 young children. On Christmas Eve, after a long shift, she came home to find several grocery bags on her doorstep. Inside were all the ingredients for a huge Christmas dinner: a turkey, potatoes, fresh vegetables, and even a pumpkin pie. Tucked inside one of the bags was an envelope. With trembling hands, she opened it. Inside were a few $100s and a simple, unsigned note that read, "Everyone deserves a Merry Christmas." To this day, Sarah has no idea who her Christmas angel was, but that act of anonymous generosity didn't just save her Christmas, it restored her faith in humanity. It is a powerful reminder that the simplest act of kindness can feel like the grandest miracle to someone in need. Now, let's talk about a story that feels like it's straight out of a movie, a true Christmas Eve miracle. It involves a family, the Jacksons, who had lost their beloved golden retriever, Buddy, a few months before Christmas. They had searched everywhere, put up flyers, and visited every shelter, but there was no sign of him. The kids were heartbroken. On Christmas Eve, a heavy snowstorm blanketed their city. The family was gathered inside, trying to make the best of it, when they heard a faint scratching at the back door. Mr. Jackson opened it, expecting to see a branch blown by the wind. But there, shivering and covered in snow, was Buddy. He was thinner and had a few scrapes, but it was him. How he found his way home through miles of unfamiliar territory in a blizzard on that specific night is a mystery no one can explain. The reunion was tearful and joyous. For the Jacksons, Buddy's return wasn't just a happy coincidence. It was their Christmas Eve miracle, a testament to the incredible bonds we share with our furry family members and the mysterious ways the universe sometimes works. This next story is a personal favorite because it's all about family bonding and creating traditions. Mark's family had a unique Christmas Eve tradition. His grandfather, who had been a sailor, would gather everyone in the living room after dinner. He'd turn down the lights, leaving only the glow of the Christmas tree, and tell them a Christmas ghost story. Now, these weren't scary stories, but rather gentle tales of friendly spirits and Christmases past. One year, his grandfather told a story about a lonely lighthouse keeper who was visited by the spirits of his family on Christmas Eve, bringing him warmth and company. After he finished, Mark's quiet, reserved aunt, who rarely spoke about her past, shared that the story reminded her of her own father, who had worked on a remote weather station. She then began sharing her own memories, stories the younger generation had never heard. That night, the family didn't just listen to a fictional tale, they connected with their own history. It became a new tradition. After the ghost story, other family members would share their own memories. It was a beautiful reminder that family isn't just about being together. It's about sharing our stories and creating a bridge between generations. Here's another incredible story of kindness that shows how interconnected we all are. A young nurse named Emily was driving home late on Christmas Eve after a grueling shift at the hospital. Her car broke down on a deserted stretch of highway. Her phone was dead, and she was starting to panic. After what felt like an eternity, an old pickup truck pulled over. An elderly man with a kind face got out and, despite the cold, spent nearly an hour helping her get her car started again. When she tried to pay him, he just smiled and said, "Just pay it forward, young lady." Merry Christmas. Emily never forgot his kindness. The following Christmas, she organized a Christmas Eve care package drive at her hospital for homeless people in her city, filling bags with warm socks, food, and toiletries. She attached a small note to each one that said, "Just paying it forward. Merry Christmas." That one act of kindness from a stranger didn't just help her that night. It sparked a wave of generosity that has continued to grow year after year, touching hundreds of lives. It proves that a single good deed can ripple outward in ways we can't even imagine. Sometimes, a miracle isn't a grand, unexplainable event, but a quiet, profound moment of peace and healing. This story is about two estranged brothers, David and Tom. They hadn't spoken in over 5 years after a bitter argument tore their family apart. Their elderly mother's greatest wish was to see her sons reconcile. On Christmas Eve, she was frail and in the hospital. Knowing it might be her last Christmas, both brothers showed up at her bedside, though they stood on opposite sides of the room in stony silence. The air was thick with tension. The only sound was the faint hum of hospital machines and a small radio playing carols. As Silent Night began to play, their mother stirred and whispered, "My boys," together. Seeing her so weak, and hearing that familiar carol from their childhood, something broke in both of them. David looked at Tom, and for the first time in years, he saw not his rival, but his brother. Tears streamed down both their faces as they met in the middle of the room and hugged, sobbing and apologizing. Their mother smiled. For her, that moment of reconciliation was the greatest Christmas miracle she could have ever wished for. It's a powerful story about forgiveness and the healing power of love, especially during this special time of year. Finally, let's talk about another beautiful example of family bonding. The Chen family was spread out across the country, and for the first time in a decade, they were all able to gather at their parents' house for Christmas. But on Christmas Eve, a massive power outage hit their entire neighborhood. No lights, no oven for the big dinner they had planned, no TV to watch classic movies. At first, everyone was disappointed. But then Mrs. Chen lit a few candles and pulled out an old board game. Mr. Chen started a fire in the fireplace. The kids, who were usually glued to their phones, suddenly had nothing to do but talk to each other. They spent the evening playing games, telling stories, and singing carols by candlelight. They ended up cooking hot dogs and marshmallows over the fire for their Christmas Eve dinner. The next morning, when the power came back on, they all agreed it had been the best Christmas Eve they'd ever had. The unexpected outage had forced them to disconnect from technology and truly reconnect with each other. It taught them that the magic of Christmas isn't in the electricity or the elaborate plans, but in the simple, shared moments of being present with the people you love. These stories, each in their own way, light up the true spirit of Christmas. They show us that this season is about more than just what's under the tree. It's about the kindness we show to strangers, the unexpected miracles that restore our hope, and the precious time we spend forging deeper connections with our families. It's about the love that binds us all together. I hope these stories have warmed your heart as much as they have mine. The real magic of Christmas Eve lives in these moments of human connection. What are some of your favorite Christmas Eve memories or traditions? I would absolutely love to read them, so please share them in the comments below. Let's fill this space with even more warmth and positivity. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more heartwarming content. From my heart to yours, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy holiday season. See you in the next video.